Well, we've done Greymon, we've done Garurumon, we've done Angemon and Gatomon, but I'm not done here and you better not be either. Yes, in today's video we're going to be exploring what it might look like if Togemon Digivolved with all the crests from Digimon Adventure. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video, and yes, it is the turn of Togemon. Now, as a quick reminder, we're exploring in a fun way what it might look like if the original Digimon Adventure, Digidestined Chosen Children, rather than just the crest they were assigned, could use all their crests as Digivolution items. We do see through Digivolution that the crest does somewhat influence the Digimon. For example, of course, the crest is required to trigger Greymon to digivolve into Metal Greymon and so on. Plus, when Agumon Warp digivolves to War Greymon, it is literally emblazoned with the Crest of Courage. But yes, of course, technically in the canon of the show, we don't know that crests actually influence the elements and attributes of evolution. However, what we are doing here, kids, is having some fun. Oh my god. Digimon lore is only Digimon lore until it isn't. Armor Digivolution wasn't a thing until the second season. The idea of the powers of the first season's kids being transferred somewhat through Armor Digivolution to the partners of the second season's kids was not at all a possibility until a writer decided it was, or a group of writers. And likewise, that's what we're exploring here. I'm trying to take the elements we see in the crests, for example, dinosaur and dragon plus fire elements with the crest and Digi-Egg of Courage, or because we're doing Togemon today, we see a grass element in the evolutions of Togemon, as well as kind of like a fairy feminine vibe in Lilymon and Rosemon, and then for some reason in 02 that gains a ninja traditional Japanese aesthetic. So while I will take the Digi-Egg armors as inspiration, I'm mainly leaning on the crests here to try and find them specifically for Togemon. And beginning with Courage, like I say, we're looking for dragon or dinosaur elements, and of course, some fire elements if we can get them too. And as a bridging gap here, trying to introduce dragon elements without going full on fiery straight away, I do think Patron, the spirit Digimon, would be fantastic, and because this is the adventure continuity, it doesn't matter if we use a spirit Digimon. Also, I should mention, like we did in other videos, we're going to be evolving specifically from the champion from Togemon because it is the champion that uses the crest. There's no need to talk about the rookie each time because it's going to be the same. From there though, well, we do have that brand newly announced Digimon, Dinomon. It's so funny that we finally just have a Dinomon. I do like that it's on fire. It looks like a Flame Dramon evolution, but that doesn't work for Togemon in my opinion. Honestly, this is something that I could see like being a Flame Dramon Mega, or maybe even like Gatomon, we could use Dinomon as her Mega, but of course I have been avoiding it for 4 videos now, and this is the 5th, so I think it's only natural that the Mega for Togemon, digivolving specifically from Petal Dramon with the Crest of Courage, should be Hydramon. What a wonderful, normal design. Listen, it's a Dramon Digimon, it is plant life related, it can even fire beams from its 3 heads with an attack known as the Intense Lampter. It ticks all the boxes in my opinion for a Togemon Crest of Courage Mega. I'm so baffled this Digimon exists, low-key. Moving over to the Crest of Friendship, we're looking for some different elements here. First of all, we're looking for themes of wolves. However, there's really not a lot of plant wolf Digimon, unfortunately. In fact, nothing that I can think of. There may be something some of you could think of, but instead I wanted to explore the general themes of the entire evolution line, and indeed what we see in Digimon Adventure 02. Raidramon, the Vmon Friendship armor, takes cues from thunder more so than ice, which is the prevailing theme of the Garurumon evolution line, kind of like the Foxfire, which is blue, perhaps inferred to be like a cold flame, and then we have ice elements much more so into Metal Garurumon. I think maybe the inference is like the idea of storms with Raidramon, and perhaps the fact that ice is spiky and so is thunder. I really don't know where that thunder element comes from, but it does give us a little bit more to work with, and that's where I thought perhaps Togemon with the Crest of Friendship could become Pistmon. Another hilarious name, thank you so much, Vital Bracelet. Pistmon, of course, has an electric theme coming from being on Pulsemon's dim card, and its potential pre-evolution Runamon looks a lot like Raidramon, and kind of in step. Raidramon's quadruped nature is inspired by Garurumon being a quadruped. Pistmon also has a lot of like plant-like vines, which I think is a fun detail they didn't have to add, but I definitely feel like Pistmon looks like a combination of electricity and plant life, as well as this kind of like bike aesthetic in general. This is far from perfect, don't get me wrong, but I do think at least we can use a very V-Pet Vital Bracelet style of evolution here that still looks like it could digivolve from Togemon and at least influences its evolution to have something connected to the Crest of Friendship, even if that is more so the Digi-Egg of Friendship. But you know, Garurumon goes fast on all 4s, and what is a bike if not a human's attempt to become a wolf? I'm just saying stuff at this point, I gotta be real. But then that does set us up really nicely for the Mega to be the brand new Digimon, Klalokmon, which came on the Digimon Pendulum Color. It's supposed to be a Digivolution of Saber Leomon and Eldradimon, but of course it can also be used as a regular old Mega. And And in its lore in the Digimon reference book, Tlaloquemon is said to rule over rain and thunder. So while it is a nature spirits plant life Digimon, because of its inspiration Tlaloc, it also rules over rain and thunder, the storm of friendship, I guess you could say. It also can transform the rain and thunder into blades, which again would kind of unify that idea of the Digi-Egg of friendship being inspired by spikes as well as thunder and ice. We are missing a bit of an ice element here, or even a wolf-like element, but Tlaloquemon's body is blue, which if you squint could be a Garurumon, Gabumon, Metal Garurumon reference. For the Crest of Love, this one is a no-brainer. We got Togemon, we have got the Crest of Love, which manifests as bird-like Digimon, Birdramon becoming Garudamon and then Phoenixmon, and of course in the Digi-Egg of Love becoming Halsamon, as well as other similar Digimon in non-02 media. So we're going to want to have Togemon become a big grass bird. Yeah, the Mega is going to be Ceresmon. What do we put in between these two? Well, there's a little bird in a bush in Delumon. I really can't think of anything more perfect than Togemon to Delumon to Ceresmon for the Crest of Love. Crest of Knowledge was a little bit more difficult. We are very much so lacking in bug Digimon, though of course that has been improved slightly by Digimon Liberator. Now we have a bunch of new Fanbemon evolutions, but still for the Crest of Knowledge struggled a little bit, combining the plant life elements with the bug elements in a way that didn't lose either. That's when it struck me that Entmon would probably be perfect, and why I didn't use it for the Crest of Courage, as some of you may have thought earlier. Entmon is a plant Digimon with a body of withered trees woven and fused together, eroding in places with mold growing on the parts with the bark stripped off, and its body is packed with throngs of insects that serve as muscles to move it around. Yes, this is a plant vegetation Digimon infested by insects. It is Togemon meets the bugs of knowledge. I think that's perfect. And actually lets us use the bug side of the Kabuterimon evolutions as opposed to leaning more into the smarts and knowledge aspect we've had to use in the past, or indeed even the thunder element, which is somewhat there. For a Mega then, well, we're kind of going a little bit evil with the Crest of Knowledge, which I think is kind of a fun idea. Perhaps knowledge corrupting one, making you think you're better than other people. But visually from Entmon, I think a great evolution is Nidhoggmon. It also looks like this big plant dragon, and indeed Nidhoggmon is in the nature spirits and is a green card in the Digimon card game, and you can kind of see how those insects could have become this thermal runaway that infests Nidhoggmon. Of course, technically the insect element is lost, but I think it being a nature spirit alongside this demon dragon vibe and very much resembling something that could be an evolution of Entmon still makes it work in my opinion. Plus it would be a fun little nod because Nidhoggmon showed up in Digimon Adventure 2020, Digivolving from Orochimon in that instance, and actually hacked into Izzy's tablet in that episode, so it already has a kind of recent connection to Izzy and by proxy the Crest of Knowledge. Reliability I struggled so hard with. We got to take the grass elements of Togemon and combine it with nautical themes as well as a little bit of Norse mythology. That really proved tricky, at least at the ultimate level, because a Digimon I think is perfect for this at the Mega level is King Waymon. It's a big whale with an entire landmass on its head. It has no Digimon reference book listing at the moment, though we assume it is a Mega level because of its card in BT7, making it a level 6 blue. And honestly, this to me is like Ceresmon for the Crest of Love. It's just so perfect. Taking those grass elements, combining it with elements we see in Digimon like Gomamon, Ikakumon, and Plesiomon, a potential contender for Ikakumon's Mega. But I think even with Zudomon and Vaikmon, it also still works pretty great. Filling in the gaps, I turned to my channel members and supporters, as well as my mods in my Discord server. I do have one of those. I really don't use Discord that much. It's not my favorite app, but there is a link to it in the description down below if you want to join the server. And the first suggestion was from my mod Evan, who said Shogun Gekomon might fill in the gap nicely. And I don't disagree. It is a amphibian Digimon with grass elements that we pointed out before, but Dresden Nova, a Digidestin and great supporter of this channel for quite a while now, suggested Piranimon, and I really liked that. It's a little bit more of an obvious aquatic Digimon that would transition a little bit better into King Waymon, and while you may think it's a bit of a departure from Togemon, it is a green Digimon with spikes, which in the world of Digimon is actually a pretty great connect. And as an extra fun little bit of lore, Piranimon's Digimon reference book also references the Digimon Mammon or Mammothmon, which has showed up in a bunch of Digimon media, and specifically showed up in the episode of Digimon Adventure 2020 where, that's right, Ikakumon digivolved to Zudomon. Fun connections all around. I really like this one. Togemon to the admittedly a little bit weird Piranimon, and then King Waymon. Digimon lets us find a way almost every time. For the Crest of Hope, we are running out of holy Digimon, and we definitely don't have many holy plant life Digimon. Now, of course, Togemon could become Aegyakusmon Green, but we've used that in other videos. So instead, let's finally use Ayatamon. Ayatamon is from Finnish mythology, and the Crest of Hope is very intrinsically linked in the original Digimon Adventure Adventure to kind of Christian mythology with angels. And then when we look into Digimon Adventure 02, the mythology theme shifts over to Greek mythology with the Pegasus as well as constellations. So Ayatamon being a Hope Crest evolution of Togemon still kind of works. It obviously visually works great from Togemon, but also is based on mythology and theology just like Angemon and Pegasusmon. And then for the Mega, well, I really like Ancient Troyamon. It's a plant life Digimon again, which works great. Plus it's based on the horse of ancient Troy, and well, horses, Pegasus, that all makes sense, especially when you consider that the Trojan horse was also a part of Greek mythology. And so with Pegasusmon, the 02 interpretation of the Crest of Hope being a Pegasus from Greek myth as well as a constellation, having our Togemon Hope Mega being the Trojan horse from, again, Greek mythology is kinda perfect in my opinion. And finally, that brings us to the Crest of Light, the one that I struggled the absolute most in this video. The Crest of Light manifests in Digimon Adventure with Gatomon, a very animalistic Digimon, becoming a very feminine, angelic Angewomon. And then that kind of goes weird because the Mega is then generally in the original Adventure continuity, Magnadramon. We've actually never seen Ophanimon in the original Adventure, but of course in Digimon Adventure 2020, we did see Angewomon become Ophanimon. Obviously Ophanimon fall down mode and stuff have been in Tri, but that's not quite the same. So I thought it might be interesting actually if we took some notes from Digimon Data Squad and had Mimi's Togemon with the Crest of Light become Lilamon. It's obviously a very similar Digimon to Lilymon, but I think just slightly more pink, obviously, like the Crest of Light, with pink wings and leg pieces that Lilymon lacks, and in general just gives a little bit more of an angelic vibe while still being a fairy. I think it's a good compromise, and even that flower on the back of Lilamon reminds me specifically of the kind of flower-like shape of the Crest of Light. A Mega then is difficult. Do we go with an angel again? Do we go with something like Lovely Angemon, which we've already used? Do we go with more of a beast Digimon? And that's why I do think that Rosemon Burst Mode specifically would kind of be a perfect evolution here. I understand it's a burst mode, but looking at it, it continues the pink themes of Lilamon way more than the reds of Rosemon Normal, and even has a white theming just like Angewomon has. Rosemon Burst Mode next to Magnadramon 2 looks kind of perfect, and indeed Rosemon and Rosemon Burst Mode have the blonde hair, which Angewomon and Ophanimon also have. It's kind of a fantastic pick, however I get that it's a little bit weird, a little bit out there. And of course we'll be using kind of a Rosemon variant, or a Rosemon evolution, as Togemon's Mega, but really, is that the worst thing in the world we could do? At least we're not using regular Rosemon, right? It is still a distinction and something we have never seen in the Digimon Adventure canon. But if you don't like me using burst modes, that's fair enough. I do also think Quantumon could be fun. It's more associated with the Net Ocean, but it is a fairy Digimon, just like Lilamon. It still gives off similar themes that I think work. It's this kind of guardian protective Digimon, which works as a Lilamon evolution, but maybe less so as a Togemon evolution. I'm personally sliding with my idea of the Crest of Light making Togemon become Lilamon and Rosemon Burst Mode. Nice nod to Digimon Data Squad, and works thematically with the Crest. But if you've got another pick for the Mega, maybe you want a more bestial Digimon Mega like Magnadramon, let me know in the comments down below. And that is it. My ideas for what it might look like if Togemon could use all the crests from Digimon Adventure to access unique Digivolutions. Let me know your ideas in the comments down below. Remember, my ideas are just subjective. None of this is objective. I'm just having fun and exploring in a kind of fan-fiction-y way. Thank you to my sovereign ZDK14, as well as everyone who supports me with their hard-earned money over on patreon.com/Karn EX. I appreciate you all so much. And my channel members here on YouTube, you guys are amazing too. And I'll see you all next time when we go digital. Bye bye.